Yo, what if the real reason why you haven't met most of your big goals in life yet is not because you're incapable, it's not because you start and stop things, but it's because you're being too rigid with your transformation. Here's a random example. If you were to decide to ride a bike from New York to Los Angeles, right? There's going to be a ton of smaller goals throughout the process to get you from New York to LA. There's certain states that you have to get through, and in these states, there's certain cities you have to get through, there's certain neighborhoods you have to get through. And if you string enough of these together, as impossible as it may sound, you'll travel on a bicycle from New York to Los Angeles. Now, along this journey, just like most journeys, what's going to happen is you're going to run into some hiccups. There's going to be a flat tire. There's going to be an accident on the way. So there's an accumulation of traffic. You're going to take the wrong turn. There's going to be a bunch of things in the meantime that'll delay your journey. Now, if you made up in your mind that if any of these things happen, if any of these hiccups happen, that you'll forget the whole trip, then you'll never reach that goal. It just won't happen. I think we sort of do that too much on our own journeys where we're too rigid in our rules. If instead you had a rule that as long as I get through the state, I'm going to keep going. Regardless of how beat up my car is, regardless of how long it took me, I'm going to get through. You still have your journey in mind, but you're not so rigid with how you have to get there. So if you have something on your plate, like you want to give up smoking, you want to give up drinking, or certain bad habits, certain bad foods, have your map, have your goal, have your outcome, but be a little bit more graceful on your journey. If you've been smoking cigarettes for years, and now you've decided that you want to make that a thing of the past, if you're strong enough, which you are, you could just go cold turkey and say, I'm never going to have a cigarette again. Or you can have that mindset, and if you make a mistake, right? If you wind up smoking again, if you went to a party and old habits kicked up again, I don't think this is the time where you give up on your goal. This is where you have grace and you say, you know what? It's more about me getting into rhythm. I smoked every day for 3 years. Now I've taken a week off and I smoke for 2 days. Give yourself the 2 days. I'm not saying you got to feel proud of it, but give yourself the 2 days and then get back on track. And to continue along your journey. Maybe the next go round is 2 weeks and then you smoke for 2 days. This is not time to hang it up. The next time you're giving yourself a month of no cigarettes, and then you went to a party and old habits kicked up. Look at where you started the month and a half before or however long before, and look at where you are now. How many times have you smoked within this past couple of months compared to how many times you would have smoked had you not had this goal? So to me, it's not about perfection. It's about rhythm, getting into rhythm. What's my ratio? Before it was 30 days a month I would smoke. This month I only smoke 3 days. That's not perfect, but you're further along in your journey than you would have been had you quit or had you not set the goal in the first place. At the recording of this video, this is 2026, January 2026. And you know, this is where everybody has their goals, me included. And I want you to hit your goals. And I definitely want to hit my goals. But what I'm going to decide to do this year is be more graceful with myself and not aim for perfection, but just aim for rhythm. Get into a good rhythm. There's a phrase in basketball that basketball is a game of runs. It's a beautiful game. The objectives and the rules are fairly simple, and there's going to be a back and forth throughout the whole game if it's a good game. One team is going to go on the run, and it's looking like they're about to blow the game away. And then the other team has a couple of timeouts, and they come back and they get on their run. Now it's a game again. And that team that was trailing, now they're in the lead because they've gone on a good run. And the team that was initially trailing, they called a couple of timeouts, and then they went on their run. If they decided that if anything goes awry, if anything goes wrong, if the other team goes on a run, that's it, then there'll never be a winning basketball team. You just can't win that way. But if you realize, okay, let's get into rhythm. We got 4 quarters to win this game. First quarter, let's get into a rhythm. Even if the other team goes on 3 runs, we went on 2 runs, and they have the lead, let's just get into rhythm. Second quarter, focus on the rhythm. Again, both teams are going on runs, going back and forth. Third quarter, same thing. Fourth quarter, this is where the rubber needs to meet the road. And because you didn't struggle, because you didn't let yourself quit, because you didn't let the other team take you out of your game or knock you off your square, when the rubber needs to meet the road, in the exact moments, the moments that make sports great, the odds of you winning that game are way higher because you're more focused on rhythm and not perfection. By the time the scoreboard reaches 4 zeros, if we are up by 1, we win the game. Regardless how unpoetic it may sound, those are the rules. And those are the rules of like your life too. And the rules of your goals and your dreams. Don't focus on perfection. Focus on your run. Focus on your rhythm. Give yourself grace to miss shots, to miss layups, to miss free throws. Because at the end of the game, when the scoreboard reads all zeros, you want to be up by 1 point. At the end of my bike journey, as long as I end up in California, I've won the game. If you're creative, let's say you want to be a YouTuber, at the end of 24 months, as long as I have 24 videos filmed, edited, thumbnails added, and posted on YouTube, then I'm winning the game, regardless of how unpoetic or how raggedy the journey may seem, or how tattered your clothes, how dirty your hands. As long as you've made progress, and as long as you're making progress, and you're not being so rigid with your goals that it makes you quit or kills your momentum on the journey, you will win your personal game. I can almost guarantee. I'm doing some of the things here with YouTube. I decided, 2026 is the year I want to take this seriously, and I want to focus solely on YouTube. So what does that mean? Well, it means I get up pretty much every day and I shoot one of these videos, just share my thoughts, whether it gets views today or views years from now. That's not my concern. The goal is just to move forward. If I miss a few days, if I miss a week, I'm not going to get hung up on that. I'm going to come back the next day. I'm going to film a video. As imperfect as it may be, that's progress. And I think progress is the name of the game when it comes to winning. It's about progress, not perfection. As always, y'all, ABC, always be creating. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.